glasses, then it's a little weird even like looking at my phone.
I was gonna say, yeah, you do have. Are we going? Or...
I just hit the button now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I do have glasses. I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
I've seen you wear glasses.
Yeah.
I have them when I drive, and it really does sharpen things up.
Are you farsighted or nearsighted?
If it's fuzzy when it's far.
That's
Well, that's what I
nearsighted.
said.
Nearsighted.
Yeah.
Nearsighted is see near well. Farsighted is see far well.
Okay. Then I guess I'm slightly nearsighted.
I am ridiculously nearsighted. So,
I am like you. I'm somewhere. I'm closer to you than I am him. I think.
Because I would always drive with just sunglasses on, and this is the first time I got glasses.
oh god, I'd wreck so fast.
that are sunglasses,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Whoa!"
So they're prescription glasses that are.
Yeah.
I've been getting those for years.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's sharp!"
Yeah, it
I
looks
was
nice.
like, "Huh, okay, I can live with this."
Yeah, I used to get the transition lenses. I hate those.
Really?
Yeah, the ones that get dark when you go outside. They come
bad.
inside and they take forever. Have you ever had those?
Oh,
I did. I actually like them.
Oh man, I could not stand mine because mine had so much like extra gunk on it, just like anti-glare this and fucking armor all that, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it would take forever to go back to light, man.
I think like most things, Patrick, I think you were like first generation transitions lenses.
I probably was.
Like many things in tech where you're just, well, I don't want to say necessarily tech. If you wait like 2 turns around, I had no complaints about mine because they actually flipped like pretty fast. But my understanding, it's just like one of those, I don't know, like you own the first like VCR in like 1981. I'm sure it's the size of like a record player. And broke every tape. And
they go dark in room light or just sunlight?
Just sunlight.
Just sunlight.
And there's another reason why I didn't like them either, because this was at least, I think this was 3 pairs of glasses ago. And when I started driving a lot, they don't change in the car. So if you get your windows rolled up. So
Really?
yeah, they don't. So
I did.
mine never did.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
My wife, she's got them, and hers don't change in the car right now.
So they're just clear while you're driving? Oh, no.
You gotta
that's
get
terrible.
hit with the UV. She's got the fucking steampunk clip-ons. Yeah.
Well, see, that's just what I use now.
Yeah.
It's not steampunk. It's just
It's not the dorky one that like clips in the middle. So
that is exactly the
she's
one.
got the magnetic one that just snaps on. So yeah.
I found a much cheaper version, and that's the one. It clips like right on in the middle.
I just switched to I always have a pair of prescription sunglasses in my car.
I like the prescription sunglasses.
So
I don't care if it's cloudy, whatever. It just, they just go on now. So I'm pretty happy with them. First time I've ever had anything like that. So I'm like, this is cool.
I started that maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. Then no, it was longer than that. I had a really nice pair of Ray-Bans and then trashed them. So
It happens.
So I got a new one. So
I'll get something each year now. I don't know what. I have regular glasses and sunglasses, so I don't know.
oh, and that's right. You do that EPA, whatever, that HSA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
$150 pair every year. So
see, I get like a free eye exam every year.
Yeah,
but
I
I
get
have to
that
pay
too.
for my own glasses. So
the whole thing?
yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Well, so
And
like
you actually need them.
right. Yeah. But I mean, like, I have a vision plan. But I did the math on it once, and like, if I get like 4 or 5 years out of a pair of glasses, which is kind of normal, my prescription doesn't change that much, since I went basically blind when I was 16. It's like not worth like $40 a month or whatever it is for my vision.
Oh, they
insurance.
charge you a ton.
Dude, my insurance is not cheap. Mine is quite expensive. So, but it works. So yeah. But
I think mine's like $14 a month.
see, that's great. Yeah, you get a free pair of glasses every year. What's yours? For vision?
Oh, for vision, or you mean
Oh, for vision, yeah.
Oh god. Oh
Overall,
no. Overall,
yeah.
no way, dude.
I was like, oh fuck, you paying $14 a month?
I think I pay almost $800 a month for mine.
What?
Yeah.
That's you and the wife.
That's
though,
me and the
kid.
family.
Yeah.
I think it's something like it's like $650 for the health and then another $80 for the dental. Dental's actually cheap. So
Yeah, I get all that. So the whole set for me is just shy of $500 a month.
oh, that's not too bad.
That
No,
might
it sucks.
that
Well,
might be
yeah,
about what
but-
I do. But 200 of that goes to my HSA, so
Yeah.
like saved.
Yeah, that's different.
So,
No, this is
Not the same.
yeah. So I mean, that does include like dental and health, vision, but it's at like vision is like 70% everything.
Oh, see, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it's kind of
That'd be nice.
It's kind of like dog insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, no, mine they cover like my. So like if I wanted to pay extra, then that would get free glasses like every year. So, but like mine, I get my eye exam, and then if something fucked up happens to my eyes, I'm covered. So.
Okay, so like if you actually wake up one morning and you're like, it's crusted over.
Right, I can't see.
Right. I have to see a special kind of doctor. About this.
Right,
Is there
right.
A special kind of doctor to see.
Yeah. Because eye surgery can be really expensive. So,
No, I would
Imagine.
yeah. My brother had to have it once. He almost went blind. So
From what?
I don't really know. It was some kind of like a form of herpes that he caught. So, that
it's
just affects your eye.
It kind of gets cold sores and stuff.
Yeah, but it got on his optic nerve, and he had like 12 hours to actually like get through this antibiotic regimen. Otherwise, he was going to have permanent eye damage, something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was. I mean, so they had to do the examination. He said it was the most excruciatingly painful thing that he'd ever been through. So because his eyes were swelling.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
I don't want to know where he got it from or why, but it sucks.
I think he was actually washing dishes for a living when he did that. Yeah. Something like that.
Dude, that's fucking awful.
Yeah.
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 No, two ways
that's
about it, man. I saw that in light of recent events, who was it? Well, the different insurance carriers that were going to cap the amount of time that you get for anesthesia have reversed their policy.
I didn't know they were.
Yeah, they were.
It's a cut cost kind of thing.
It's
or-
basically like you get it's to cut costs. So it's like basically like if you go into a procedure, they're like you get 2 hours of anesthesia.
What if it takes 3 hours?
You get 2 hours.
Then it's
Then
life
you
or
have to
death.
pay more.
They took the
James.
gas on
Then
it.
you have to pay.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Right. Then the rest is.
Yeah, I very much
pay.
no doubt that's what happened.
No, I didn't say that. He said that.
Oh, okay.
I said after that you gotta pay.
Oh, gotcha.
Is this on all surgeries or just elective ones?
I believe it was all,
Oh.
but I don't remember. And it was only certain companies, but like I said, recent events made them change their.
Do you really want to be like, Doc, you have 2 hours to get this done? I don't care what you find in there. You better
Right.
get this shit done.
TikTok, Doc.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, you don't want those guys being like time crunch.
No, it's just like, hey, dude, get in there, do your thing. If you see anything else that needs to come out, just yank it.
Clean it up.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's fine. Yeah,
just you need to make the call.
yeah.
You're the professional. Have at it.
Just leave it better than when you got there,
Yeah,
man. That's
yeah.
fine. It's fine.
See
What is it? Leave only
threads or
footprints?
stuff hanging out, just tuck it in or zip it up, whatever
Exactly,
you do.
Yeah. I don't want to see any leftover like bags of Fritos or shit in here. It's just take everything out.
Oh, yeah, those horror stories of them leaving something in there.
Sponges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes tools.
It's medicine, man. I understand
I get
that.
it happens from time to time.
I don't know anything about it.
I know some things, and I know you know some things about it too. But I mean, there's the next level of it where it goes from I get it in books to you guys actually have to do this.
Yeah, well, I've watched a lot on TV.
There you go.
Right.
I've watched a lot of the medical shows.
I mean, you know, there are certain things that I think are like, you know, I kind of laugh at. They're showing this thing like with the cesarean section, like, oh, well, here's all the layers you have to cut through to get there, and they did it like a. We used to have this book. It was called Santa's Beer to Soft and Warm.
I have that.
Okay,
I have that book.
So you know how it goes. Okay, so there's a hole in it.
Yep.
And there's this beard, and as you flip through it, the beard is still there, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing it kind of like that, where they're like, well, the baby's in here. And so they're flipping through the pages. They're like, you have to cut through this, then the peritoneum, then
okay.
this, right? And I was just joking, because every now and then you just throw out like a joke, and you want to see how many people take it seriously, right? Because they're showing through each layer. I'm like, dude, just use a thicker knife. Like, you can get like 10 layers at once. And of course, people was like, I don't know how medicine works.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe y'all. You all know that book.
Yeah, it's like a snowman and a cat and
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
top of a hat, like the Santa hat.
Yeah,
I still have that book.
and when you get to a certain part, it's like the Christmas like ornament, and you know, it's using the texture and the shape on there. Really ingenious book. It's the fact that you all know it means
Well,
it
they
actually
have
has kind of a
lots
lasting
of-
legacy.
Varieties.
That thing, like, my mom had that book growing up. Dude, that's like Depression era shit.
Is it? Oh, okay. I thought this was.
That was like going to the movies back then.
I thought this was an '80s invention or something.
No, it's
Okay.
very, very old. Yeah, I guarantee you the copy that I have dates from the 50s. So,
We did have. There was this Sesame Street book that we had that had like scratch and sniff shit in it, and the smells in there were so pungent. Because there were a couple of them that you know, they were nice. There was like one where you scratch candy or something. So that's
it's
great.
butterscotch.
Yeah, and then there's one where it's pine,
Oh, fine.
and the pine was incredibly thick. And then there was one that was actually garbage.
Yeah.
Where
It was Oscars.
yeah. And like the book stank before you opened it.
Yeah, it's got having a little bit of paint in your pasta sauce.
I mean, that was one of them. That paint was one of them too. Yeah, the paint stank too. Yeah.
I don't think I ever had that one.
I don't think my kids ever had a scratch and sniff book.
Do they have? Do kids still have scented markers?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do kids still try to taste the scented markers?
Yep.
I don't know if my kids taste them.
That's immediate. Yep, they do.
So do adults.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for a good line marker, man. just have to test it for purity.
Yeah, I used to love those. It was just there was always one. Whatever the brown one was, that cinnamon or
Red was cinnamon.
whatever the brown one was. I didn't like it. The black one was, of course, like licorice, which
Take it or
we've
leave it.
talked about it.
Yeah.
It's there to make you feel sick and hate candy.
I
So
love the watermelon one.
yes,
Pink was my
I'm
favorite.
not. Yeah. I'm not big on licorice.
Yeah.
no, it's because black licorice isn't.
Even the
yeah.
cherry stuff is kind of like, it tastes like wax. So.
I like red vines.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although the sweet tart red vine things,
Yeah.
those are fantastic.
Oh,
And they
okay.
have like a filling inside. Oh man.
Churro.
it is nowhere close.
You always like the stupidest, like most childish version of every
more sugar in there. Although I did get, so I went to King of Supers and they had in their half off sale, which is where I buy everything.
Yeah.
They had their own version of the Hostess cupcakes.
Mm.
Oh,
Way too
that is wow.
Was it whack or was
It was so potent.
Oh.
Like so like the filling was just like compact sugar. The cake was compact sugar, and then it had a thick, not just like the thin layer of frosting. It was like thick,
Like the leave your mouth greasy frosting.
just pure sugar. Like it was just like, like I know Mountain Dew and stuff makes usually people's teeth squeak. For me, this made my teeth squeak. Like they were screaming because
That's too much
it's
sugar.
rotting your teeth literally on contact.
It's hissing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god.
What were these? Did they have funny names, or were they?
No, it just looks like a regular. It
Does it-
looks like a regular Hostess cupcake, only the frosting on top is thicker. But they even do the white
The curly Q one.
pattern on it.
No, but in the box,
I don't know what their actual name
or
was.
are they just like a white box that says cupcake?
No, it's clear and you could see them,
Oh.
so you could see that.
I'll try. Like I'd try one.
They come in 4.
Wait.
And I mean, this is
Wait.
me. I like those sandwich cookies that they have that are that Walmart had that is cookies with super frosting with frosting on top with sprinkles
Like
on
a
top.
Big Mac.
Yeah, of sugar. I'm good with that. This
Are you talking about like a Big Ed super saucer? Like are they this big?
no, the Walmart ones are all tiny.
Yeah,
they're
Oreo size.
Yeah.
Are they? Okay.
yeah. I think each cookie is like 200 calories.
You know what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I took to the rig and they're just like, Jesus Christ, you're gonna eat those? Like I even offered them to everyone else. They're like, no, man.
Which ones are these? Those cookies you're talking
Yeah,
about?
the cookies.
Do they have a special name, or they?
I don't.
It's like everything at Walmart. It's just,
It's a
generically
clear
named.
package,
Yeah, it's
man.
sandwich cookies,
Yeah, I think that's literally what it is.
macaroni and cheese powder. Great value.
All the cool names were taken, so we're just literally gonna call it what it is.
Well, no, because I mean, if you go to Safeway and you go buy the generic Oreos, they're called tuxedos.
They are.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
They've been around for decades. So.
And I think they have a penguin on them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And tuxedos don't go in your mouth; they go in the trash because
They got-
They're terrible?
They're fine.
they're
not
Oreos.
Hey man,
They're
I'm not throwing no cookies in the trash unless it's peanut butter. So.
I eat those.
There's
But I think
kids
it
on the
take like a
street.
month, man.
I can
Feed 'em to
always-
my cat.
I can always give anything sweet away.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's some fine peanut butter cookies, but I mean, if you're gonna go that route, just get the Nutter Butters. They're the best.
I don't like those.
They're fantastic.
I
Well,
like
you
peanut
guys
butter,
say
so
peanut butter.
I don't like
anyways.
peanut butter cookies.
It's fine.
I don't
No,
like
it's
oatmeal
just
cookies either. So.
oatmeal cookies. Fine. They're not.
Yeah, I'll eat one.
You eat one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll eat one.
Like, so it's kind of like when you buy like Danishes, right? The treasured one is the cheese one, right?
Oh, when they come in like the 4-pack.
You don't buy the 4-pack. You buy the cheese one.
Sometimes they don't have just the cheese ones. You only have like the 4-pack or the 6-pack.
Fine with the apple.
Apple's fine.
The apple
Terry
one's
gets
fine.
frisbee roll to fucking
Yeah.
pants.
Well,
And whatever that lemon thing
yeah,
is.
that's the thing.
Oh.
It's kind of like oil.
You save the cheese one for last. There's a red one that's just fine. There's kind of like a blueberry or a blackberry one.
Yeah,
Totally
that's
fine.
fine.
Those are fine. But the lemon curd one
That lemon
can go
thing-
fuck itself. That one has no business. Like, I don't know why you're making them because
Who's
nobody
buying
likes
them?
those.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they come in 4-packs. So
Put 2 cheese in.
Thank you.
Or 2 of the other, 2 of one flavor, or come up with a new flavor. That
Yeah.
lemon thing sucks.
I don't know.
I agree. I'm not going to fight you. I brought it up. I don't like that. It doesn't belong in there.
But it's fine. I can.
Yeah.
But
I
I've
can
eaten it.
toss it away. Especially
had Danish
since
in,
I'm
like, years.
buying them at the half price thing. 'Cause so
Right.
if one needs to go, that's so weird.
I mean, it's still food, so I don't like to pitch it, but
Oh, I pitch it.
I have no problem throwing away food anymore. If I make something that it's ass, it goes right in the garbage disposal.
well, that's the garbage disposal right there.
I don't have one of those,
She's
Jeff.
she's on 4 legs.
I have 2 cats. They eat cheese and milk, and that's it. So,
She likes both of those things.
Do your cats jump on the counter?
Fuck yes.
Have you ever put foil on your counter?
Oh yeah.
Dude, your cats shoot off like a rocket?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that again because I think one of them actually got hurt when I did that. Yeah.
This is the first time I ever saw a video of this.
No.
I almost died laughing.
So like my cat, there is a spot in my basement where if I don't clean out the cat box every other day, she will poop on my floor. So and so I put tinfoil down on that. And she doesn't do it anymore. So cats hate that. That's an old
dude. That is an old. They get electrocuted, man.
Oh yeah,
they are just pow.
I put a cucumber behind a cat.
What?
Have you seen any of those videos?
A cucumber?
A cucumber is zucchini. So put it behind a cat while they're not. It'll freak the fuck out. Yeah.
Really?
I don't know why it is, but get on YouTube. There's a million videos of people freaking the fuck out of their cat with a cucumber or zucchini.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I didn't know that. And I guess, there's only one way to test it. I mean, you happen accidentally once. Yeah.
It works.
And if you have a scientific mind at all, you're just going to fall asleep again. Because then you have to see if that actually does it again.
Right. Well, and I have two cats. I have control cat and test cat. So
does it get them both?
Uh-huh.
Dude, I never... Okay, I've totally...
They'll hiss at it. So, yeah, it's weird, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know, man. The ones I've been watching lately are, the dog or the cat, they're asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And people will start putting things closer to their nose, like foodstuffs.
Oh yeah.
And they start.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, this is cute.
I've seen those.
Or the other thing, of course, is the thing that's gonna get me anytime. Like this is my most favorite video ever. Is gonna be where either a big cat has taken charge of a litter of puppies.
Oh yeah.
Or a dog has taken charge of a litter of kittens.
Yeah.
I love the mama cross species. It's this is so cute.
There's this one that my daughter watched for a while. It was this mama duck who had adopted a bunch of kittens. Yeah.
And sometimes the kittens adopt a duck.
Eventually, but I mean kittens do grow up eventually and then they turn into murderous beasts.
Yes.
So yeah. So I would like to think they wouldn't eat their mother, but I don't know. So it depends on the cats.
And how hungry they are.
Curious? How curious they are, So
it's like the fox and the hound. Eventually the hound is like, oh, I am supposed to go after you.
Yeah, exactly.
There is that. But I mean, there are still videos you see of Russian guys that are just hanging out with bears they're Saint Bernards. I'm like, this is
until it rips your dick off.
I know that's a concern. It's just you get that report every time that somebody gets mauled by a bear. It comes out, right? There aren't that many bear maulings. These guys are
no. Depends on where you are, though.
Yeah.
So some bears are particularly dangerous. So yeah, like polar bears. And then
I've heard nobody's friends with polar bears.
They will hunt you.
Yeah.
So they see anything that is moving as food. So
are polar bears bigger than grizzlies?
They're the biggest bears.
They're the biggest?
Yeah,
okay.
They are the biggest bears.
So that's the Bergman's Law thing. It's just the...
Bergman's?
I don't know. Bergman's. It's the colder... the larger the animal would become when it's colder out. Something like that where...
I would ask the biologist.
Yeah.
I don't 100% think that's true, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Dinosaurs got pretty damn big when it was really hot.
Yeah, pythons get enormous.
Well, there were no cold weather dinosaurs, right? There were none that showed adaptations to colder temperatures, right?
Was the Earth even cold back then?
Somewhere must have been.
Maybe.
Well, relatively cooler than...
But I don't think it was cold.
I don't think there were ice caps. In fact, I'm pretty sure there were not.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, does that mean that everywhere was Louisiana hot?
I don't know.
It was really hot.
Right.
It was a lot hotter than now, which allowed
Well, that's where you get giant bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything got big.
Yeah, well, and everything was super oxygenated
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
Right.
which is why Godzilla doesn't work.
No, not really. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a couple things like that. I've actually been looking at like interstellar exploration lately,
Just
for
funsies?
fun. It got it
Okay.
on my YouTube feed.
all right.
So, and there's like I was looking at that whole. I think we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. If you go to Mars, you're never coming back.
No.
That's the point.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you can't. It'll kill you. So if you come back,
Just
so
because of the time, or because
no, over time,
adaptation to the-
yeah. So your body will like as soon as you get within like range of normal gravity, your guts are gonna fall out. So it's gross, man. So
Huh.
yeah,
Well, on one of my ancient alien shows I watched,
cool.
our circadian rhythm
Huh.
actually lines up with a Mars day more than the Earth day.
So we came from Mars.
That's their theory.
Yeah, right. Of course it is. Yeah, because alien and hair.
Right.
So just a interesting tidbit. Yes,
Oh, that wasn't me.
No, that was not you.
Oh, okay.
that was me.
Okay.
That's the sound I make when I reboot.
A little update going on there.
So I had a question.
Mhm.
Is Trump president right now?
No.
President-elect.
Does it seem like he's running everything?
Yes.
Oh, I'm like, either I'm just watching Fox too much, or it seems like everything is going through Trump.
Joe Biden's sitting on a beach somewhere, man. So,
It seems like foreign affairs, all this stuff is already going through Trump.
well, and he figured it out that, well, okay, so, I can just truth this out. Yeah. And basically assume, I mean, he doesn't have the authority and stuff like that, but I mean, he will soon enough. And so,
His credit's good.
well, it is good, but I mean, he doesn't have signatory authority just quite
No,
yet. I mean,
no.
you still have to be able to sign for the car before you can drive it.
Exactly.
There
There are a lot of deals that are made in principle.
right. This is called
Yes.
pre-negotiation.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I was like, are they even going through the White House? Or
No,
are they
dude,
holding,
I don't think he's gonna live there, man.
conferences?
I'm convinced that he's going to live in fucking Mar-a-Lago.
I think he said something to that effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so he'll always have a room there. So,
Right. Yeah.
so when he's in Washington, right, he
Yeah.
has a place to crash. It's cool, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any
know.
rule that says that he has to live
I've
there.
never seen a rule that says you have to live in the White House. So
I have no idea.
I don't think you do. So, I mean, so we've had presidents that passed who didn't live in the White House, but it was usually because it was busted. So,
Right.
like, Harry Truman spent like a total of like 2 fucking weeks in the White House because he gutted the whole thing while he was president. So, that worked out fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. And I got burned down once too.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was
yeah.
Especially in this day and age.
What?
You work from home. Why can't the president work from home?
Oh, I think he plans on.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. He was the first guy to do that.
So, I mean, they got everything set up that
yeah.
you can do.
I mean, there might be some like technical limitations on it because I guarantee you, that's not just like a normal Starlink link.
It's oh my god. Okay, so he's got to use he's got to sign in through the Houston VPN, and yeah, it pops up in the corner, and yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, if I turn on Fox News for like an hour, they're like, yeah, they said like, whatever's going on in the world, and they're asking Trump all this stuff, and I'm like,
What's that dude doing going on like the Sunday morning? What did he went on Meet the Press?
I think
Did he?
today?
Fucking
yeah.
why?
Yeah, you know what? I think
Just go in there and give him more oxygen, idiot. Don't do that, man.
what are they gonna do to him now?
Well, nothing. But I mean, he should ignore them. So because they suck. So
yeah, there's a
Maybe it's a quid pro quo thing going on for.
like
yeah.
expected. Maybe it's sort of a like in the NBA where you're obligated to like do a press conference afterwards, even if you want to just go home immediately.
The
Yeah.
halftime interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know, man.
I didn't see or hear anything about it, so I don't know.
Oh, I saw stuff on it today, so I was
It's
like, "What the fuck are you
Sunday.
doing on NBC, man?" Yeah, I know it's like football day.
I don't know anything that goes on in the world.
Again, it could just be an expectation. Like, the first time that I learned that, that FDR in his 4 terms, right, wasn't like a special thing. It's just that everybody is like, no, nobody does more than 2 terms. It was just unspoken. You just
Yeah,
couldn't
it
do
was just a rule. It wasn't an actual rule. It was just a thing.
It's in tournament terms we call that a soft ban.
It was a soft ban.
Yes.
Well, it's
Yes.
the president. It was the precedent set by George Washington, who
Right.
said, "Yeah, 2 terms is enough for a president."
Right.
And then FDR actually wasn't going to run for a 3rd term, but that was 1940.
Right.
And so he was like, World War II coming. So
I got something cooking.
I got something
it's-
cooking.
it's-
Yeah.
It's all right. But yeah, every time I used to think for the longest time that there were like it was a special exception or something like that. I was like, no, it's just nobody said that you couldn't.
Nope. Until they did.
Correct.
Until they did. I said, all right, nobody else can do that.
Right.
And I saw a thing on Quora that in 2027,
Quora?
Quora.
Quora?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
That
So in
Quora
version
2020,
of Reddit.
Yeah.
2027, then if you go back every 10 years, so like 2017, 2007, every president at that time on that year was born in 1946.
Huh?
So if you go back like 6 decades or something like that, 5, maybe it's 5. So 2027, Trump will be president. He was born in 1946.
Okay.
2017, he was president, 1946. Whoever was president in 2007 was born in 1946. Whoever was
George W.
born in
Bush.
1997 was born in 2046. And then
1946.
1946.
We had like 5 presidents that were born in
Well,
1946.
Trump was twice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that actually tracks. 1946.
Yeah.
That's the start of the boomer generation.
But not 1945, not 1944, not
Yeah, not 1947.
Well, no,
Well, it's
but-
just like you've got 4 presidents there that were doing that, and then you get a 5th time because Donald Trump counts.
right.
So,
So
because
twice, yeah.
if you go back like any further than that,
Then
it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
You
Yeah.
can't go back to a
George
certain-
W. Herbert Walker Bush fought in World War II. Ronald Reagan made movies during World War II. So,
So yeah, however long until the math doesn't work, but they're
well,
all
it'd be
born in-
it doesn't work after Bill Clinton. I didn't think that George W. Bush and Bill Clinton were born the same year, though. Because it'd be 2007, 1997. They both have to be born in 1946.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was just like, huh,
Yeah.
that is weird.
Yeah. It's the last time it'll happen.
We better not have.
I don't know, man. That's interesting that you say that, but they did show some numbers the other day, like Congress and the president, they're trending old.
They have been for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think that's bad. I like the whole, we need younger presidents. We had fucking 16 years of presidents in their 40s. Fuck things up like left and right. I'm good for a while. And so,
Well, nobody. I mean, that's weird.
How old is Vance?
huh?
How old is Vance?
I think he just turned 40. So he's like the youngest vice president we've had back since like ye olde, fife and drum days. So,
the next round of like president people won't know that like long distance calling was a thing.
You're right. Yeah. You want to know
They'll
what the phone
all
book
be
was?
on
Yeah.
cell phones. Yeah.
And then we can bitch about that. Fucking idiot presidents don't even know what the Yellow Pages is. So
Man, that's crazy. Nah, we're a ways. No.
we're a ways from that, man.
We're a little ways.
We're a little
I would say
ways
that
from
that ended 2000, maybe 2000.
Yeah, we're-
well, no, that's not true because there were still.
People still had
What? Phone books?
landlines and
Well,
and
all right.
long
So
distance plans.
long distance still
2000.
existed into cell phones for a long time.
It did.
It's just a question of like when did like roaming charges end for calls?
Right.
Right. And that was it persisted into the 2010s, 2015s.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
I think there are still some places that do that because that's their entire racket. There used to be, I used to remember the name of it because it used to pop up on people's bills. And it was a place in Wyoming, of all spots, where it was this dog shit, one, like, 5-tower cellular, place.
Is it
right?
Altel?
No. Altel was fucking big bucks compared to these guys. And all they would do is they only maintained a cell service because when people would travel through,
Right.
they'd catch them on roaming charges, right?
Oh, that's dirty.
You do nothing, right? Because all you do is you just basically patch it into somebody else's network. But yeah, if they stay on that call for that time period, you get them for that. And there were like, because when we started getting like cell phones in like 1995, 1996, that place around, there were like 30 cell phone companies, like all fighting for like little patches of like, well, you have this corner of New Mexico, right? And it's because I what did we come from? It was voice stream.
Yeah.
And also like Suncom was part of that, and there were like 30 companies out there, and just like like the Warring States period of Japan, they all got eaten up by different warlords.
That's why you never fight the first fight, man.
Yeah.
So, gotta wait for the other two guys to fight first. Then you take on the one whoever makes it through that.
And at this point, like it's actually it's down to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sprint Shogunate finally got eaten by T-Mobile like 3 years ago.
Would you call Boost Mobile one of them still?
I guarantee you they use T-Mobile or something.
They're an
network.
MVNO.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like Cricket and
Yeah.
that thing that Ryan
I
Reynolds.
thought his was Boost. Mint?
His is Mint.
Mint.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you they're an MVNO. So
MVNO.
yeah, they piggyback on somebody else's network.
Network
Is there
operator.
anything
Virtual network.
lacking with doing that versus having the main company?
Yeah. All they're doing is most of those places they're prepaid,
Right.
right? Because
Ryan Reynolds is a monthly plan, I thought.
I don't
That's
know.
how he advertises it.
no, it's not. But like because they collect like a
Or
couple months in advance.
No,
I have
he
never
says
looked
that
into
it's
it.
just a certain amount a month. It's like $15 a month or something like that.
But do you
But
pay it
that's-
at the end of the month or do you pay it before you can use it?
Yeah, that's you have to pay several months in advance on that thing. That's what the commercial says.
I don't think I've ever seen one of his commercials.
I've seen a million of them.
Really?
Oh.
Oh.
They're on like podcasts and shit.
Oh, well, I don't pay for those, Jeff.
I don't either.
Well, no, I mean, I pay for the $5 a month that makes it so they don't have to listen to those.
oh,
so I do
no,
pay for that.
well,
Sorry.
no, on the yeah. So if you, but yeah, when they actually put the commercials in the shows.
I've actually taken to banning shows that do that. I needed to call my collection of like weekly podcasts that I needed to listen to, and so I could play more video games. And I got to the point in time where if you're doing the thing where you paywall me right before the good content starts, you get unsubscribed. So if you're, someone who like, I stopped listening to Ben Shapiro because I got tired of his fucking shit, with his basically unavoidable ads.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm good, man. I can just read your shit. So, and I don't have to get ads. So I can just go to your website and read it.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Man.
Look, the same thing. I have no obligation to watch or listen to these things. It's
Right.
Sometimes they come up, and that. It is what it is. But yeah, so with these things, all they do is you have limited support that you can get from this when you sign up, right? And it's not like it's that big of a deal. It's just that you can't. It's not the same account access. You have limited choices. And yeah, is it really that big of a deal? It just depends. Like, because you're going to be locked out from certain plans, right? So the fucking scam of data that my mother uses, you're not going to get that on there because it just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right. But as far as I would say, actually, that's not true anymore. People use way more data. Way more. Yeah, never mind. I was going to say there's a good deal of people who could probably happily drop their plan, as is, but
oh my god, no! We would go bankrupt. So
yeah,
my daughter she just streams everything now. Yeah. So yeah. Mm-mm.
Yes, the
children are constantly like 100% of their time is on some kind of stream, even if they're not paying attention to it. It's still going because they've got
right.
Yeah. So
the fucking
overnight,
meter is like
William leaves it on overnight sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he was just like, "Hey, let me see how much usage I had," and he was like, 9 hours.
I stopped paying attention. I used to like T-Mobile would yell at me every few days. Your data, your usage is high. I'm like, okay, how do I turn this off? So,
This is not a concern.
It's not a concern of mine. So,
but I was like, 9 hours. Must have left it on overnight because you went to school. You're quickly running out.
Do you know if it he goes to high school next fall?
Yes.
Do you know if he's allowed to have his cell phone in the school next fall?
I think so.
See, yeah, I think my daughter can have her school.
They don't have like the Ziploc bag thing.
Exactly. I think it's just free, like here you go.
They tell you can't use it.
You can't use it in class, but you can have it on you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he has his on him at school.
Oh no. That's their boat and at my daughter's.
Oh,
school.
he's got his on him.
They've got phone jail. It has to live in your locker. Yeah.
I've seen the places that have the aluminum bags that you put them in.
The Faraday bags. Yeah. So they don't record your fucking stand-up routine on YouTube. So,
hey, dude, I support it.
I
completely support it.
If you really
I don't think
need
I would
to
go
reach
to a show where they wanted me to do that, though.
If you really need to reach your student, you can call the office.
Correct. Yes. They had I remember there was an issue a while back where they fought this for a while because there was pushback against it because of Columbine, where they were saying, like, you can't take phones from kids because they need to be able to reach their parents. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because it would still be the same, process as before. You call the office, and in that case anyway, you all go into lockdown procedures anyway. Nobody's going to be making phone calls as is.
I remember them making that agreement, though.
But if you have your cell phone, you make a call.
Well, there was enough instances where you had school shootings where, like, it's not like whatever the official channels were like working, and so students were calling it in. They had that one where they were calling in from the bathroom, but.
Yeah, but that was weird. I mean,
because he shot all the people in the office right off the bat.
Right.
So that was several years ago. I remember that argument, though.
But I get it. If you're a parent, I want to call my kid and see if they're okay, and then not call the office for.
Oh, I would definitely be calling my daughter's cell phone
Yeah.
if there was a shooting in her school. So
it goes in the bag. Just goes in the metal bag.
They just keep them in their lockers. So
Lockers is fine.
yeah.
It's just not in class.
It's fine. I don't mind it either way.
Yeah. Completely give zero fucks about that.
Really.
if you want to sit there and doom scroll on your phone rather than listen to me, knock yourself out, man. It's still on the test.
Yeah, I guess our high school, if you have a 90% in the class, you don't have to take the final.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they still do finals?
They have finals, but if you have a 90%, you don't have to do it.
I had someone ask me that the other day. She was like, something along those same lines. She's like, well, I have a running 90 in this class. Do I have to take the final? And I was like, well, you won't have a 90 after you get a 0 on the final. So,
Well, this is where that idea came from. Some high schools, I guess, do this.
yeah.
But if you have a running A, then
That's okay, man. That just means I get a beat on them when they come in later. So,
this is the real world.
wait a minute. Don't I get out of work if I do most of my work? It's like, no. No. You do everything. So, I've been teaching for like 14 years. I have never let a student out of assignment with one exception. That guy got deployed.
I was gonna say, yeah, there was a
It's happened one time.
Right.
One time. And I gave him an I. So
Right.
he had to do it when he came back. So,
There were no free passes.
no free passes. I have only ever had one student ever get an incomplete out of me. I've had many ask. So
How many of you failed? A ton.
a lot.
But
It's kind of normal, man. So after your first couple years, you're kind of like, wait a minute, if I'm not failing people, I should get paid.
that does not fly in regular school.
I know. That's why I don't teach in regular school.
That's why the phone thing of like, I don't care, you get your F. I'm like, no, I'm gonna get yelled at. No, I'm gonna get fired. Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's a little bit stupid.
real. Yeah.
Really interesting. I mean, I saw. What did I say? It was like the creeping grade point average of Harvard.
Oh, that's an absolute real thing.
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw the way that the chart went, where like for 100 years,
Oh yeah.
the average GPA is like 2.12.
Right. No, it's like 3.8.
It's 3.8.
Yeah.
oh wow.
Oh, nobody
Average.
cares about
Yeah.
grades anymore, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're never going to have an employer, unless you're going to go be a doctor or something, want to actually see your GPA. I mean, I have students all the time, oh, they put my GPA in my resume. It's like, don't. Okay? So everybody's got a 4.0, so don't even worry about that. So
I don't. But that's
I don't either.
Yeah.
But I graduated 25 years ago. So
Right.
yeah.
Dang. I didn't know that's how great
It's just the way it is. And that's like basically like I teach my classes basically as pass fail classes now. So you either do all the work or you don't pass my class. So,
Gotcha. Huh.
Yeah, it was weird, man, because you got this nice steady line of because you can see that like at that point you're like, wow, I can see like the average of this. People are struggling, some people are kicking ass, that kind of thing, and then God, when does the change happen? It's you've seen this
like
chart,
the
it's like-
1970s. Yeah.
yeah, and it creeps up a little bit, and then,
Yeah.
and then it like goes down, and then boom, it's up like a rocket ship.
Oh yeah, and I mean some of that just like once colleges no longer became competitive, which they haven't been for 25, 30 years.
Yeah,
So, I mean, and I mean, even admissions processes and stuff like that. I mean, like going back to testing is not going to bring grade inflation back down, because the cat's out of the bag. So, and like every student expects that now. So,
well, I mean, things could change.
I don't see how. So,
Well, I mean, I think you start with the dismantling of the Department of Education. I think that's
yeah, but they don't really have that much to do with colleges.
no. But if anything's going to change, it's going to start at the lowest levels first.
Yeah, I think you'd need the only way it would change is if employers actually gave a shit. They don't.
That's
they
I
really
suppose
don't.
that's true.
I mean, a degree is like basically, it's no longer this like huge accomplishment. I mean, if you want to do anything credentialed down the road, you got to go past a degree anymore. You know.
Well, they just you saw that story about the fucking. You saw the one that made all the news headlines for getting her doctorate in like fucking stinky people or
Stinky people? What?
this one escaped your grasp.
That totally escaped my grasp, man.
All right,
I mean, I guarantee you someone did write a dissertation on fucking stinky people, but...
I think this was Cambridge, but...
Oh, that school is drift. So, I mean, like, that's just the thing, man. I mean, you don't go to prestigious schools unless you want to actually be in the in academia anymore, anyway. So...
Yeah, I got this one fucking dumb girl. She's sitting there holding up her PhD and examining olfactory oppression.
So, all right, cool. We got a new branch of critical theory out there now, huh?
Yes, that
based upon whether or not you don't shower.
That people, yes, they do discriminate against people who stink.
That's because stinky people should be discriminated against in some respects.
Well,
so unless, like you do, I mean, we all had those kids in like 7th grade who was like, hey man, it is time to start using deodorant, bro. So
there is that. Well, remember this, Patrick, remember this comes into, it's not just that they stink, it's that certain groups have a certain smell. It's perceived as stinking.
Yeah, so you're mixing like race in with it too.
Of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So
no, she did.
Well, of course, because the more esoteric of a topic you can stitch together, the more likely that you are to actually get picked up on a tenure track job. That's how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So especially Cambridge.
Yes.
So
yeah, and she's sitting there like fucking grinning ear to ear. It's like, I'm a doctor now. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, when you're talking about like deflation of certain fields, yeah, I mean,
well, a lot of those fields will deflate on their own, man, because there's no future in them. So, I mean, you can go in there unless you're bringing like a trust fund with you to school.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to turn that into a job. Like everything lately has been about how like just about every company in the Fortune 500 is basically gutting their DEI department.
yes.
Yeah, so, because, like, a lot of the stuff that HBR put out turned out to be bullshit. So, and now they're like, wait a minute, this is really expensive. It was fraught with lawsuit danger,
It was expensive, fraught with lawsuit danger, and never actually achieved the outcomes that they said they wanted them to achieve.
No, and nobody could agree on what that was anyway. So, I mean, I don't know why you would actually go into college at this point in time and actually study, any of those fields at this point in time, unless you actually just want to be an academic. Then, okay, off you go. But there's going to be fewer of those programs, out there. I mean, just about every flagship university in the state will have one of some kind. So, but okay, so that's kind of limiting yourself and, how many jobs are available and that stuff, I mean, it's going to take a while to beat that stuff out of the colleges. I'll tell you that right now. So,
well, as long as people want to take courses, then you should have programs for it.
Well, no, I mean, I'm talking about like having a administrative superstructure that supports said departments. So that'll take a while to bleed out. So
they'll bleed.
Well, yeah, because I mean, students just won't sign up for that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Michigan already got rid of theirs.
Michigan was one of the first to get rid of theirs. Yeah. Now they probably still have that department. They probably teach in it, but like actually using, anything from like DEI or anything like that to actually determine admissions. I think Michigan was one of the first to say, you know what, we got sued over this, we're done.
Well, good. Maybe our entertainment will get back to normal too then. I think it's already getting there, but
I heard,
yes and no.
I heard that what is it? There's a new Star Wars coming out.
there is.
It's like
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, it's like Star Wars Goonies.
Yeah.
So I hear that's supposed to be really good.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
I've heard it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is
Shocking.
a far cry.
Fine is setting the bar really high.
Well, I mean, yeah. You're talking about their last 10 projects, which are basically like different levels of like, colon cancer. it's, when they turn around, they do something that's normal, right? Because my understanding is nobody's saying that this thing is like it's not a walk-off home run, but it's
fine. It's
good.
entertaining.
Yeah, right,
It's worth
right,
watching.
right.
I heard Moana 2 is really good too.
Oh.
So, I know. I
Did you
not
watch
for
the
me.
first one?
Huh?
Did you watch the?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. First, it's great. That's fun.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
You watched the first one? Wow. Okay.
well, I mean,
I was
it's,
like, that's been out for like 15 years.
it's not a
10 years.
new movie.
That's
Yeah,
not
it's
new.
been around for a while.
Like 7 years. 6.
No way. 7 years?
Yeah. My
Maybe.
daughter's only 9.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It came out during her life. And she was old enough
See,
to
that's that
know it.
associative memory thing
Yeah,
that
I
you're
guess
talking
this
about.
is-
I think he's got you checkmate here.
I think I have to. Yeah. And you have to be right. This is, hey, dude, I made the Duke Nukem 3D argument.
You're just going into the way back
No,
machine.
you're fine. No. Okay, so, all right, it does feel like it's been out for longer than that.
Well, that's
Right?
fair.
That's true.
And maybe it's like associating with, like, I don't know, there's a handful of movies that all feel like they came out around that same time, and they all,
Are you
like,
putting it in the same thing as like Toy Story 1?
no,
No,
like,
okay.
whenever I think of that movie, I always think about Lilo and Stitch.
That's
And-
way,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
way old.
Yeah.
And that movie kicks its ass anyway.
The movie is good. But
Yeah.
That movie was good. Why did they never make another one of those?
They made an animated show.
Oh,
Series,
okay. All
But
right.
it wasn't good.
And they're making a live action version of it.
Oh,
I hate
gross.
the
Did you see the fucking Seven Dwarfs?
I have been following that thing for quite some time.
Oh
That
my
is
god, man! I saw that hit
that
my
is
YouTube
the-
feed the other day. I was
That
like,
is
"What the
the
fuck is
train wreck of all train wrecks. If only
Are they still making it?
they refuse to just like bury the thing. Now it's like a point of pride.
Well, now people are gonna probably go see it. So just because, like, oh my god, this is so bad.
You are not. People will not hate watch that 7 times to actually help it get the money back.
No,
man.
I wouldn't
It's
say
not-
they're gonna do it
yeah.
7 times, but I guarantee you, there's gonna be enough hate watchers out there.
I'm not going to the theaters for that, man.
Oh yeah, probably not. So
Well, I'll just go with it this way. I don't think that Snow White, even on its best day, is really the, like, if they'd have done everything right, I still don't think it would have been that hype. I don't think
Probably
that
not.
that story is. I mean, it's fine. It's beautiful for what it is. It is from that era of animation where I appreciate it, but I also don't give a fuck because it's just.
It was the first one to
It
do
was
almost,
their first
like,
one.
Yeah.
yeah. So it has significant meaning,
Yeah.
but like that also means that you treat it with a certain amount of reverence, and you don't come in there. It's like, I'm here to reclaim my father's kingdom. I'm like, go fuck yourself. It's
do
like,
you think know why Walt Disney picked that story as his first movie? Have you ever heard the story?
I don't
You know?
think they said anything about
Mhm.
why in the show I watched on it.
I was just curious. I don't know the answer to that.
I feel like that's got to be documented somewhere, but
Yeah.
I've never.
I just was curious if either of you could come across that. So
It's a good point, but yeah. But yeah, so I mean, even if they've done it well, but I mean, you're talking about this pitiful thing that has been
it's
like,
so awful.
yeah, that has been like kicked around like.
God, isn't this like 3-4 years that they've been working on this?
Something like
Yeah.
that. Well, they had it, and then, didn't they shoot it all with like live action characters first?
So they shot it first with,
Non-dwarves.
well, there was
Right,
there
yeah.
was one dwarf.
There
on-
was one dwarf?
There was one dwarf,
Was
and the
it Peter
rest of them.
Dinklage?
No.
No, he's the one that actually shot the whole thing
Yeah.
because he's that's like dwarves should not be relegated to just like fantasy roles. I'm like, okay, I don't understand why you're the extreme arbiter of what all these people get to do, but it is what it is. So they
They were
scrapped
pretty
that.
pissed at him. They're like,
fair.
that's 7 freaking jobs for us, man, you jerk.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it's like, okay, so we all have to be like faceless Ewoks. I mean, like, is that our job? You piece of shit? And like, well, and
Because you're super famous.
I do remember everybody turning on.
Yeah.
him.
yeah, and on top of that too, I'm like, look, a lot of fantasy things do have little people in them. right? It's part of the lore. Yeah, I don't see a problem with this, but yeah, he got all fucking uppity about it, fucking throwing his weight around, and look, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Right. There's no two ways about it. He's a good actor.
I haven't seen him in anything except for Game of Thrones.
He was in X-Men. He was
He was.
in a couple other movies.
He's been in.
He's got a couple here and there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good actor, but I mean, yeah. So they shot it with this this shampoo commercial of people as because they do. They all look like fucking like a mixed assortment of like homeless people.
They did. I've seen the picture.
And they all just look like raggedy. They all just look like it's just like go grab 6 hipsters and a dwarf, and they did. And so after that, they said, okay, we're gonna go ahead and make these guys CG. I think that what they tried to do was just CG over the actors.
I don't know, man, but it looks terrible.
It looks awful.
I haven't seen it.
It is like everybody says it's nightmare fuel. I don't think it's that bad. It's just hilarious. So
It just looks awful.
it looks terrible. Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I don't say it's nightmare fuel. It's just this shit that looks like the closest thing I can do is like I don't want to say it's like PlayStation 2 graphics, but there's this thing where everything they all look like the background extras from Shrek 1.
They do, yeah.
They all just look low polygon. They all look like and it's so to the point where because you can tell this was not the original design that there is no variation. There's no so even the dwarves in that god awful Hobbit movie, they all for how horrifying they looked, they all had character, right?
I mean, but they were like a lot of that's just old-fashioned cinematography.
It is.
Yeah,
And it was prostheses and all these other stuff.
Well, prostheses and huge, boots and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. But they all look distinct, and they all looked like they fit in the same world. And then you have this group. It's like you have this very irritating woman, and she's surrounded by these characters that look like the erasers that you bought at like the.
Yeah.
They do, man.
Book fair.
Yeah. They do. They all look like erasers, and they're not even wearing like distinctive clothing. They just.
There's like a fat one and a bearded one, and a bearded one that's white.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like, well, at least there's only 7 of them, because that was one of the things about the Hobbit movie. There's like 14 of them. You're like, what the fuck? Okay, I remember the fat one, so
And I remember
there's the one with the axe.
I remember the ones that have like rhyming names. So I've got Owen and Glowin and Thorin and
Keely and Keely or whatever. Yeah.
Oh my God, they're gonna sing again. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, and you look at them and it's Control-C, Control-V, but a little bit of like, dude, change my answers a little bit so it doesn't look like you copied my homework.
Right. Yeah.
They just slightly like. They just added like 2 like little drops of like Smurf DNA to each one to make them.
You nailed it, dude. That's exactly what they look like. So that one, Doc, absolutely is a non-blue Papa Smurf.
Yeah.
They unblue-faced him.
It's so. They look like shit you get like off the shelf in like the package of like Unreal 5. It's just kind of like
off this store.
It's just like, I know this rock. Everybody uses this rock. Everybody uses this gas station. Everybody uses this fucking garden gnome, right? And that's what they got there. It's like just zhuzh it up a little bit. Yeah, and you look at it, it's just like none of them even look like effeminate or anything where you're like, this is distinct. This is
no. I mean, they look vaguely like the old animated characters, but then they should have just fucking animated Snow White and been done with it. So, but, oh my God, like, can't have that. So,
what you do in this case is if you have a fuck up of this failure, right, of this thing, you go in there and say, we're going to go ahead and respect our roots. And you basically, like, Zemeckis this thing and say, like, what we're going to do is we're going to Roger Rabbit this.
You could do that.
And we're going to do a mix of 2D and
you could do that.
We're going to bring on our the squad of traditional hand. Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That is the most generic fucking off the peg, like Grok. Give me
why
7.
did they do
yeah.
You really couldn't get real people?
They
They
have
have
real
real
people.
people. They look terrible.
They
So,
CG over
yeah,
them.
they
This
CG
is
over
this
them.
is
It's such a shit show, man,
Oh
that it's
my
almost
God.
it's gonna go down in history as being one of those legendary, like just absolute fuck up movies. So
they've got plenty of those in the can recently too.
yeah, but I mean, if you got a whole era where it's full of that stuff, you're gonna get one that's just like, yeah, that one encapsulates everything that was wrong with that studio at that time.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're supposed to let that ship sail on the Little Black Mermaid, right? That's the thing.
I think they're gonna top it, man.
I think they are.
I think they're gonna top it, yeah. So,
These are the things that are going to go in the vault and never come out again.
oh, you can't do that in this day and age.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
that
that's
motherfucker
true.
will be on YouTube so fast.
Right.
So, yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
you know, it doesn't work like that anymore. So, you can't like bury your own mistakes. So,
And you can't Song of the South this one. You
Song
can't
of
Black
that,
Cauldron this.
No, you
Yeah.
can't Black Cauldron this one either.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
I'd like to see that again.
Good luck.
I know, man.
Good
I
luck.
remember Greg had a copy of it when we were kids. So
That's a collector's item at this point.
he probably still has it.
Probably does.
Yeah.
Like, if there's anybody that doesn't know what his shit is worth, it's probably that guy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, they all do look.
Yeah. It is just off the peg. Just
This is terrible.
these came with the software, dude. They all did. There's no character to any of this.
They just like change the color of their hats.
I know. Like, you're right, because it's like, what? Are these how we tell which rank you are?
Oh my gosh.
You know what? You're right. They should have Roger Rabbited it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
When they saw that
would have been
happening.
cool to see. You know.
It's that total homage to your history.
Yeah, and let's just do it. Let's do it by hand and all this stuff, and then all the stuff with like the actress and like Gal Gadot and all that stuff. It wouldn't matter.
Right.
It wouldn't matter. They'd just
Right.
be like, oh, okay. So like, I mean, everybody remembers what was that guy's name?
The guy that was the
Roger
the
Rabbit
detective
Hudson. What was his name?
Who,
in the show
the
or his
actor.
real name?
His real name.
Bob Hoskins?
Bob Hoskins. Thank you.
Wow.
So yeah, Hoskins. Yeah. No,
Wow.
I was
Oh.
close. I was.
I thought you were talking about the director. I was like, oh, that's Zemeckis.
No, that's
yeah.
the Zemeckis. Yeah, I know that. No.
Yeah.
No, but I mean that like he became. I mean, well, he didn't live that much longer after that, if I'm not mistaken. So
He did, and he had some sometimes regrettable roles, but he did have a pretty decent,
yeah, but he was a stage actor too. So
Yeah,
before that,
oddly enough.
and
But
so-
then he was live action Super Mario, so
right. I forgot about that.
starring alongside his brother John Leguizamo. You want to talk about casting miscall? It's just anytime you like anytime that dude's name come up, it's just scrap the project.
He was fine in John Wick.
John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
He was in John Wick.
Isn't he the guy that gives him his car?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Is he?
Yeah, he
I don't
is.
remember.
He's only in like 10 minutes. of the
Nah, he's
movie.
not
Yeah, yeah. No, that is him. So
Yeah, that's because I mean you just like this is a tribute to our past,
that would have been fun.
and people like
I think
even
that would be kind of cool.
it would be awesome,
That
right?
would have been fun.
Now it's clearly like covering up for a mistake, but that's fine because you have all the actors in place and you're gonna color over. I was like, this is cool. Even if the story turns out to be dumb, it ends up being like a spectacle that you're like.
See, that's what I'm
still-
worried about too. Is that the story is going to be absolutely awful. So
Well,
it's
what do
going to
you
involve
know?
politics or something.
Of course, it's involved.
See, fuck that, man. I'm so done with this. So,
And you don't do this where the queen is 10 times hotter than the actual like snow. It's like this person.
It's supposed to be the queen.
It's Gal Gadot. It's
Gal-
goddamn Wonder Woman.
It's
And-
Wonder Woman, yeah.
And the whole thing is like she's gonna ask who's the fairest one of us. Like, are you kidding me? I'm sorry. It's like, look, she's so pretty that she doesn't act, and she never has. Like the whole thing. This is the amazing part of the story. This is like I have never held up that first Wonder Woman movie as good. I say that it has good parts, but it has parts that are so cringingly stupid that they just draw you
Ridiculously
right out of the
stupid,
movie.
yeah.
Right? There's There's a scene where like the two bad guys like actually like look at each other and chuckle and do this with their fingers, while the people are dying from gas inside the room. Like that did not happen.
Yeah.
This is some old fucking like Rocky
Jeff,
and
that
shit.
was like when some shit was really starting to come off the rails.
Oh yeah. But people were just like,
No, it was fine. I thought that was okay.
It's just the beginning of like a bunch of silliness that, you know, like all your villains are cartoons, you know. So
you know,
that one was fine. The rest were.
I've never even seen it in 1984.
oh,
I hear it's absolutely awful.
it's I've seen it. It's pathetic.
I
I had it for free. That was the only reason I watched it. Was on
you to watch
free.
it, you know.
That's when I watched all those terrible DC ones.
So check this out. So, you know the Themyscirians. You know how they all speak with that stupid accent?
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to speak with that stupid accent.
Oh, but she couldn't.
Because she couldn't stop speaking with it, everybody else had to learn her stupid accent. That's a true story.
What is her accent?
She's Israeli.
Israeli, that's right.
Oh, she's Jewish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can see it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't have a good eye for that anymore because it just changed. Like you always get surprised by it.
Well, on top of that, there's a lot of people whose original face is not what comes in the package. Like if you like Brie Larson, she does not look like Brie Larson when she first started acting, not by a long shot.
I haven't seen her in a little while.
Yeah, because she sucks.
Oh, okay.
And nobody likes her. She's the worst part of any production. She was in one great movie called Room.
Oh.
She was fantastic in that.
She was pretty good in Skull Island or whatever it was. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
she was
God.
in-
Oh, yeah.
She was in that.
I don't. That's not a good movie.
Oh, it's fun,
But I like it.
It's such fun.
It's there's something to like Sam Jackson like squaring off, like making that mean face up again. It's like, all right, there's some character to this.
There is, yeah.
Like, this is dumb as shit, but I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It was fine. It
was fine.
entertaining.
It's not. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not nearly on the level of stupid as the Versus movies. The like Kong versus Godzilla is fucking
Oh, yeah.
the biggest waste
That's
of
the
my
one
time
with
of
Bryan
my life.
Cranston, right?
No,
he goes Godzilla.
Oh, okay, all right.
and that movie was boring, but it was at least it was good
Okay.
boring.
I don't think I've seen
It's
it.
not good boring.
I don't know, man. I kind of like
And the Millie Brown, whatever was in it.
Millie Bobby Brown?
She was terrible.
She's the worst.
She like I love that series until the last season. Did you see the last season?
Yeah.
It was so.
I thought that one was better than the one before.
Was it the one with the giant
COVID
fucking?
season?
The COVID season.
Last one was the COVID season, but
the big spider in the mall.
the meat monster.
That
Yeah,
was the season before.
that's the mall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I liked that.
It was kind of fun. I mean, but that one was just like
It had gone off the rails.
it's totally off the rails. It was like these fucking Soviets living in Indiana. You know,
It was all over the place.
Was there were the Soviets making like a big hole?
They lived in the mall, or they could just like
they built a thing as
portal
that
that they could
mall.
walk
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
mall.
That's right. That was
It was silly.
Trucks just going back, like it was.
But that was the one with the kid who's like getting taken over by the dude, and you know, he fought the meat monster.
yeah.
He was a
Okay.
good actor, so I don't know his name, but whatever. So that one was kind of fun.
the rock star, the rocker guy.
The guy, he was a lifeguard. No, not the Metallica guy.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I'm glad that dude got fucking fucked up. So as soon as I saw him in the very
Oh, you mean
first
the
one-
hair guy?
The hair guy,
Okay.
yeah. So I was like, this is so, like, it was like, oh, I play Dungeons and Dragons, so they think I devil worship. Yeah. That was like 5 fucking people in the 1980s who thought that, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, come on, man.
He's
So-
gonna be in the Fantastic Four.
Fine, as long as he's not in Stranger Things, because he's dead. So, you know. So I'm gonna have to think long and hard because I don't have the Netflix anymore. I probably will not renew the Netflix just to watch the next season because the last one was so bad, and the kids are so old. They're way old. You know.
Well, I just remember I did not get on board that wagon for a while, but You know, when I watched it, the first season, it's a small show. Like
It's very small. It's nice.
It's a very small show. Like half the show is about like. Yeah, I remember like she's drawing all these pictures because the kid is missing. I'm like, that's the show.
That's the show.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the
It was
show.
great. We gotta find the kid. Where is he? Oh. So,
And
there's this thing called the Upside Down. It's like, what is that? You know, so
It actually had good creep stuff like in it. Like it was.
the monsters were scary.
Yeah.
So
but it was also just a little bit lighthearted. I'm like, that's okay. It's
it had such a ET to it.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah. Or the Goonies or whatever. It's like,
Well,
whatever.
I mean, that's why Sean Astin was in the next season. So, which is probably the best. I like the second season.
Second
the best.
season was good too. Yeah.
And that's the one with the big spider.
No.
No, the
I thought
second,
the third season's the one with
Yeah.
the big
third
spider.
season is the one with the big spider. The second season is the one with Paul Reiser and Sean Astin. And you know, it's like after,
Yeah, that second season was good.
yeah, but they have the little spit dogs. So-
Okay, all right. So now I remember. Okay, yeah.
The fourth season, the city's like the country's like splitting apart. The
See,
ground is
when it ended,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's the actual apocalypse. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm done.
like
I'm out.
Okay,
I'm done.
right. Yeah, that's sort of like so if you follow the old like Blank of the Dead movies, right? They
never watched it.
they have that same sort of thing where it starts out like it's a very small outbreak, right? And then it's here, and then it's in the shopping mall,
Right.
right? And then then it gets to the point where it's like, oh, this is spread everywhere.
Yeah, the
And it
world
becomes-
is
And you
overrun with
don't
zombies.
have to make it so huge. Like it was cool that it was.
Well, it works because it's
It works
such a-
because it's small.
It's because a confined thing. It's you know, for what fun you can take out of it.
It's not
You know.
like now
You
that
can't resist it though, man. Any zombie thing, you have to get to the point in time where it's like, where the real enemy is the people.
always-
It's always the
always
other
been
people.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and capitalism. You know? So,
now the ground is split apart. Everything else, the whole country's going to be aware of this. Like
Yeah.
it's like the
I
whole Eternals. There's a giant
the re-
hand sticking
yeah.
out of the water.
That they never address.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like you guys.
that's
come
because the
on,
real
man.
evil is capitalism, Liam. So,
I got to use specifically the term late stage capitalism in.
no, you didn't.
Yes, it was
Why did you do that?
because I got to make fun of it. Because
Oh, okay.
it was about how to solicit feedback and screen out.
Oh, bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's one of the things where yes, you have to talk about like so when you are soliciting feedback, how do you stop people from blaming all of the problems on late stage capitalism? Well, here's how it's
Okay. I might have to read that.
not out there yet, but yeah,
okay.
but yeah, it's you're right. There's that. And yeah, there's just this thing where it's that Star Wars thing all over again. It's like, all right, the Death Star can blow up a planet. Now it can blow up 5 planets at once. Now every
How it is a planet.
Well,
that can blow up
well, oh yeah, that's
you
I
forgot
forgot.
a step there. Yeah.
And then it's like now every Star Destroyer can blow up a planet
Right.
on its own,
Right.
but they're all connected like to the same radio frequency.
Right. Yeah, it's a hive mind.
So you can shut them all
Right.
down by pouring coffee in the. That's a Godzilla thing. That actually happened.
Yeah.
They like stopped Mecha Godzilla by like putting like coffee in the computer.
Why didn't we do that
Watch the
before?
Mecha
You know?
Godzilla.
That is some old. That's like. I don't know. Like. It's just rough. It's just like the laziest like dog shit writing, right? How can you have like things like this? So yeah, a cute little story like that afterwards. I was like, oh, I can see why everybody was like going crazy for Stranger Things. So it's like, why don't people like shut up about this? I'm like, oh, this is a good little show. And then yeah, I just kept watching it and like it keeps getting like way too big. And I'm like, this is
Yeah, they just got to make it bigger and bigger. You know.
and that was when I was out when they had like this big portal underground and that fat cop like I think he died like shutting it off.
He didn't. die.
Yeah, he got sucked into it, and now he's
Yeah.
in Siberia.
Yeah, he
blah
got-
blah blah.
yeah.
You know, yeah, it was dumb.
Didn't they think he died?
They thought he died
thought he
because he
died.
got slurped to Russia and went to prison there. And
Because of course the Russians are like experimenting with this. But yeah, I mean, it was just come on, man.
On American soil.
Yes, yeah, but they were building a thing that could like get you from Russia to America
Yeah.
real fast. I don't know.
Look,
To a mall.
here's the thing. That would be a wonderful tactical device. The Russians were not equipped to do that in the 80s.
No.
Patrick and I talked about this the other day, about the Russian space program.
Killed a lot of animals.
So, the Russians did have the first soft landing on the moon, right? They kept shooting things at it. And the amazing thing is that, all right, so some of them, they have on record first collision with the moon, all right? Because that wasn't a landing.
First collision with a dog in the moon.
But the crazy thing is, like, the moon's big.
Yeah.
They missed it like 9 times. You go in there and you look at the different programs, it's like, missed moon. It's like, turn it right, turn it's like, Scott Norwood kicking field goals, dude. I'm like, dude, come on, fuck on here. It's just like, did you miss it that way? Turn this way. Shoot again, right? And so, if you're gonna tell me that they're like building this kind of sophisticated shit underneath like Indiana or where this is, I'm like, guys, don't give these guys this kind of credit. Say the Americans are doing, right? And then you can pin it on our government. I'm not saying that those dudes were completely competent, but at that time, it was a shit show.
Yeah, I don't think anything in that movie, in that series, was supposed to be realistic. You know,
I think that you're play it as
you
realistic.
could. I mean, like they did a little bit of that in the first season. You know, where it was kind of serious. You know, but it was still a small town cop kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So you know, but yeah, they just I don't know, man. Like first and foremost, like I don't think they expected to make it to a second season. So. You know, and then and let alone for Netflix to turn around and say, "Oh, well, we need you to write 4 seasons now."
I thought Netflix always plans for 2 seasons.
I don't know if there's a like hard and fast rule,
Or
so-
you know what? I think that may have changed because of Stranger Things.
It might have.
I think they might have been like season to season for a while, but then they always plan for 2
Yeah.
because I think that's how they can get their contracts in a like in a reasonable way, so that people don't like go nuts. Because like oddly enough, like because Millie Bobby Brown came from there,
She
right?
did.
And you got to bring her back on this. So every
Well, she
season
dragged
that you
ass
get-
on the last season so much they almost shit canned it. And so,
Right.
you know, yeah.
Because, like it or not, she's like what classifies as like a young star.
Yeah.
She's 19. Yeah.
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 But I mean, this is like, think about people that would have been in that role, like when we were young.
Oh, they'd be in their 30s. So,
Well, this is what
yeah.
I'm saying is there's a dearth of actually like good actresses. She's not amazing. She's not terrible. I like her, depending on what role she's in.
I've only seen her in a couple.
Oh,
So,
right.
yeah.
She sucks in those Godzilla movies.
She's
I can tell you that much.
She's terrible in
She's
Godzilla.
terrible. She was in this
Something else.
she was in this movie with Henry Cavill where she's like young, like Sherlock Holmes' daughter or something like that. And she's great
Oh, okay.
because of like Henry Cavill,
Who's just great. Yeah.
who evidently is like the nicest guy on the planet.
Right.
He
And
got made fun of relentlessly as a kid
right,
because he was like a fat gamer.
right. And he's out there like producing like Warhammer shit right now because they're getting it wrong. And they are getting it wrong. Because they're actually trying to acknowledge that like women exist. But he's like, not in my gaming. That's how not how I grew up. That's not what it was.
Well, he's probably got the money to be able to do it now, so.
Same thing, yeah. He bailed on The Witcher when they started fucking with it. He's like,
Yep.
this is not what this game is.
Yeah, and I heard that 3rd season was absolute garbage.
So is my understanding.
yeah,
It
I
was
had
like
never
scheduled
saw
out for
it, yeah.
5 and they like closed it down like
shut
early,
her down.
which they don't do, but it is what
Thought
it
they
is.
made a 4th season.
Oh, The Witcher? I don't
I think
Or
the
they're
4th season is the one they you know, they did some other dumbass like tie-in show with it.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
they did
you're
a
right.
season without Cavill.
They did.
They did.
That was the 3rd season.
Oh, that was the
though.
3rd?
I think so.
It was either the third or the fourth.
I think it's the fourth.
I think it's the fourth.
Oh,
I think
okay.
in
I've
the,
only
he
seen the
was
first
contracted for 3.
yeah, I think he did the third.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't going to be in it. And I'm like, well, I didn't even like the third season. So
I heard he was barely in it. In the third one? That's why I didn't watch that.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't even make it through the second season.
Oh,
Because I was just like,
That's the thing, huh?
Grabbing you,
Yeah.
right?
it just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
wasn't that
did you take the
entertaining.
the source material is like all this like good stuff in there. It's just like, no, we don't want to use that shit. Make this person ugly.
Make this person ugly.
Let's make this person black ugly. You know, it's just dumb. It's just, dude, fuck off with it. No, this happens all the time, dude. This is like the gaming universe has been like crumbling in the past like 6 weeks as a result of this
Over what?
stuff. Oh man, so did you see the stuff about Avowed?
No.
All right, so
I'm not familiar with that franchise.
well, it's a new game. Well, so all right, so you remember the Concord thing I told you about there, right?
Run that by me again.
Concord was basically the new Overwatch killer that its servers were on for 6 days before they shut it down because they didn't have.
Oh, I remember you saying.
Okay,
Okay,
right. So following in the footsteps of that kind of stuff. So the new Dragon Age crashed and burned.
I did see that.
Of course, because nobody. It's like, I'm not playing this game where guys are doing push-ups every time they misgender somebody. It's like,
Right.
What?
Yeah, that's actually in
That's
the game.
in
and you
the
can't
game.
hard pass it, so yeah.
and the game doesn't see.
God, come on.
Yeah, no, this is a real thing, right? Yeah, I showed you, and so yeah, the thing's cratering. So there's this game called Avowed from Obsidian, who I've liked a lot of their stuff, right? And this is kind of it's the game actually looks kind of cool. It's kind of like Skyrim-y, right?
Okay.
But the thing is, they're leaning into like the whole like the pronoun shit and all this other stuff, and so this is
Obsidian is?
the thing. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
kind of surprises me.
No, because they did that with the Outer Worlds a little
I
bit.
never played that. Was it any good?
It was like a alternate universe Fallout. It was fun for 20 hours.
Okay.
You wouldn't win any awards with it, but it's basically the same kind of thing. So in this game, they're leaning into that shit, and so their art director, right, the guy that's in charge of all this, the guy that's in charge of hiring all this shit, he's a super activist guy, right? So this dude, people are like they're picking on it for it's like, dude, you're not going in the right direction. Gamers don't like this shit. And this guy goes fucking nuts. He starts like, jawing off at the mouth about like owning the chuds and all this other stupid shit. And people start digging up his tweet history, right?
Oh.
All right.
That's never good.
All right. So, the dude has been saying like, the industry needs to get rid of crusty white guys like me. And so he starts, I shit you not, the guy starts to listening. He says, if you're a person of color and you're interested into getting into this field, send messages to me about this, right? Now here's the thing: is a dude that used to work for Obsidian, right? Chris Avalone, he sends a message afterwards. He says like, so here's what I want you guys to do. If anybody sent an application to Obsidian from this time to this time, okay? Go ahead and work with this, okay, and get your lawyer ready. Because this guy just admitted to giving racial preferences, right, from this period to this period, right? Now, that didn't play out so well, because that dude, he went quiet. Then his next step was deleting his Twitter account.
Bye.
Right? Then he went on Blue Sky for a little bit, said 2 things, just didn't say anything afterwards. Hasn't been fired, right? But that's the thing is, anybody that's leaning into this shit, right, is getting their clock cleaned as far as, like, they're not buying the games, right? They're not responding to, like, fucking threats of, like, we'll call you a racist if we don't. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
Call
that
it 5
just
times
doesn't
this
work
morning.
anymore.
Yeah.
You know, And I mean, games are so much different because there are so many releases coming out all the time, man.
Yes.
That, you know, like, I mean, the chances that you actually get a decent sized audience, like all jumping on any big game after GTA 6 is about zero. You know,
There's an Indiana Jones game coming out. I don't give a fuck.
actually, I looked at that. It looked okay.
It looks okay,
Yeah.
but like,
I'm not gonna pay no $60 for it.
no,
So,
it doesn't
yeah.
look like $60 worth of game.
It did. I thought the animations on it looked pretty good though.
It's
So,
weird playing from Indy's eyeballs.
that is kind of weird, but you know, like what I was reading about it, and so I haven't seen too much gameplay footage of it yet. All right, but that it was kind of like more like the old Fate of Atlantis, because you don't kill anybody. You can,
Well, you can.
but yeah,
Right.
And I was like, man, I haven't played a game like that in a long time, so I can kind of get into that.
Yeah, so the thing that they were saying about it is like there's like a lot of good stuff there, right? But the main mechanic of basically being in charge of Indy's fists,
From
is-
first person,
yeah.
that kind of sucks.
they say it's a little bit clunky
Yeah.
and it gets repetitive. And I'm like, all right, I understand. It was kind of a little bit repetitive back in the puzzle games, right?
That's why you didn't fight most of the guys. I mean, you could, but you didn't have to.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? For that kind of thing, it's like, I'll play it, but I don't want to play it at full price.
I'm not going to pay for it.
Right. But yeah.
That doesn't seem too like we used to
Dude,
spend
$60 is
for
still
a
cheap
game.
for a fucking game now,
Yeah.
man. I mean, you know, you've seen some of those things where, like, some games, if you actually priced out how much work they put into them compared to what we used to charge, you'd be like $250. You know?
I get
The
that.
$60
Like if-
price point just sticks, though, man.
If games
So,
are your thing, like
yeah.
I don't
Well, some people do. I mean,
balk
you
at
know,
$60.
there's guys out there who spend tens of thousands of dollars to play EVE Online.
Hey, dude, that's the like EA said that 75% of their income comes from microtransactions.
EA
So-
does.
Yeah,
That doesn't
couple
surprise
places.
me.
So it, like
Oh, how much my kids spend on Robux and stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think I've ever actually bought anything in a microtransaction.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the kids.
I
do
bought DLC.
fun.
Okay, I guess deal. Does that count as a microtransaction?
I counted as one.
Okay, then I've done
But you're talking about like costumes and stuff like
that. I've
that.
never bought a
Costumes, a
costume.
power
or-
up.
I've never bought none of those
I
things.
bought costumes. I used to
Really?
Stuff.
For what game?
Street Fighter.
Oh, okay.
Well, because it was part of. So again, that's the sort of thing where they would do season passes.
Got it.
Right. So new characters come out every year.
right.
You buy the season pass, you get these costumes, you get these
Right.
new characters, each year, and I don't love that. In fact, I kind of hate it.
Yeah.
Because like Street Fighter's not the worst about this, where I hate modern Mortal Kombat now. Right? I'll tell you why. Because those guys, they do the season pass kind of thing here too, but they are so shitty at balancing their games that new characters come out,
They trump everything.
new character is immediately the best,
Yeah.
right? And then what happens is it is so misbalanced that what they do is in the next patch, they nerf the shit out of that character so badly
They
that
used
they send them right back to the end of the.
That's exactly what Overwatch used to do. So, I mean, I played Overwatch for a while, long enough to see if
It's
you.
fine.
It was fine, but yeah, a new character would come out, and you'd all of a sudden realize that everybody's instantaneously outclassed by this character. Within a month, it would be patched back out, and that character is now useless.
So you have to spend the money to get it, and then
Well,
have it be used.
Well, that
it-
one was a little bit different because it was through BattleNet, and so
In MK's case, they're just really bad at balancing,
Yeah.
right? Because they would have that character, they'd nerf it way too hard, bring it back, and basically you have this seesaw of characters over there because they didn't know what they were really balancing. But I mean, there's a Marvel game out now called Marvel Rivals.
Just came out. I guess
Yeah.
it's
It looked
huge.
awesome.
Oh, the kids at Williams School are losing their minds over it.
Okay.
So,
well, there you go.
and I guess it's free.
Yes, that's going to be a microtransaction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's going to be a like.
you get to play with the fucking, the punching dummy.
So
I guess you get a good assortment right off the bat.
You do. I've seen people play with a lot of characters. But
I
that's
might even give it a shot just because it's Marvel.
I might too. It was looking fun, and that's the game where the entirety of it is like well, I'm gonna buy this costume for the Punisher, and I'm gonna buy this, right? You know, it's like cosmetic crap. I mean, dude, like the games that were like Fortnite is still going strong.
It
man.
is.
It's crazy.
Yep. It's still, it's still,
Microtransaction the heck out of that.
That's
Yeah.
what we're talking. That's where they get like 75% of the
dude,
It's a
fucking
free-to-play.
WoW is still going strong, man. So,
surprisingly enough.
dude, my brother just got back into it. He dropped another expansion just a few months ago, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck it," you know. So he gets back in and just there you go, man.
But this is the thing. That's the state of the gaming industry. Is like WoW should be dead. WoW should have had like
Yeah.
something should have eaten WoW's lunch like 5 years ago.
Yeah, but nobody's done it as well as they did.
Exactly, yeah,
So, you
yeah.
know, they were able to stay on top, you know.
And it's not like people didn't try.
Oh, no, a lot of people... Dude, there's been... Like, there's a fucking boneyard of MMOs out there, you know? It's like the airplanes in the desert. You know?
You're not wrong, man. A lot of people swiped at the king, but nobody could do it.
No.
And I never hear anybody saying, like, this should have done it, like, but people didn't give it a chance. None of them actually.
Everybody's trying everything.
Yeah.
No, like, but some of them, you know, it's just like you. The hard part is that you're competing for a smaller and smaller gamer base. So on all of these things, I mean, yeah, your kids, you know, they game a little bit and stuff like that. You know, but God, not like when we were kids. You know,
They game all the time, but it's all Roblox.
Yeah, but it's just like one game. You know, so that you're gonna play over and over and over.
Roblox has
I know how it works.
thousands, so they they'll switch throughout.
But they're on a single platform with
Yeah.
that, yeah. So,
Right.
you know, and then like, so it's so fragmented now because you still have console players, you have mobile players. Mobile's huge, okay, and then on top of that you have the PC market, and so it's like completely different than it used to be. And so I'm not surprised that nobody was able to kill off WoW because, quite honestly, the actual base is so fractured. So, you know, if you've got a piece of that corner, you can live on it forever, basically. So,
No, I got you there, but it's just something where, look, it's basically like iPhone theory. When the iPhone came out, it didn't do anything that no two phones weren't doing. It's just that they put it in the same package and actually made it look not like shit. Right?
right, yeah.
Which counts.
Yeah, iPod white.
It's the
Rounded
future.
corners. Yeah. So, medical grade plastic.
Yeah, and they came out there, and because they actually made that look nice, they took all those features together, people assumed they invented it.
Right.
Right? But, you know, that's the same thing. You could do the same thing with WoW, where it's like, all right, we're going to do 95% of the same thing, right? We're going to add like 5 more features that are better, right? And you will get people saying that, okay, cool, I'm going to jump ship from here. But that never happened. Nobody actually, it's like, first, you didn't match the experience. Number 2, you didn't exceed it, right?
No, and you didn't tease enough of the player base over there where people are going to like go grab all their friends and start playing whatever the new shiny is.
Yes.
Because I mean that's your equivalent today of like that's still your 4 dudes on a couch thing is the MMO.
It's the closest
It's
thing.
the closest thing, yeah.
Well, that and the Roblox stuff, that's part
You
of
can
it.
do
too.
that,
That's-
yeah. You can do
I would argue that that's Minecraft. That is,
yeah,
That's
but
where the
it is the
started.
biggest selling game of all time for a reason. So,
what Minecraft? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree.
Because anybody can jump in. It's as serious as you want it to take it. I've seen
Right.
people that they take Minecraft really seriously.
Yeah, where they actually like plan out what they're going to do with software, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
go like we're gonna rebuild, you know, the Hagia Sophia, you know, so,
Okay, you're talking about
in
that.
1/2 scale, you know. So
Okay, I'm talking about like the 15-year-olds that are like
Oh,
when
yeah.
gaming mattered. But you are talking, yes, the
Oh, no.
ship in a bottle crowd. Yeah.
oh yeah, they're
absolutely,
out there too.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, it's so fragmented. It's crazy. So
But yeah, you're in a weird position where it's like if you're a console maker or a PC maker, this is the weird thing is like, you're seeing people they're like you have a 4090 to play Minecraft. It's like you don't need it. You
don't
need
need
a
that.
phone. Your phone will
Yeah.
play this just fine.
toaster will run.
Exactly. You know, this weird thing where like I don't envy anybody like making consoles right now because they're like, what power level do we go for on this one? Do we chase like tech because nobody's like I watched something the other day about how like UE5 is basically like totally like stopgapping people from actually making games that look better than where they were. I'm like, wow, okay, but everybody's using this tool, but it's sort of like hard capped at like not looking better because you know what, games don't look that much better from like 2017 to like right now.
No,
I mean,
they're
you'll
fine.
see some things like, but like the models aren't that much better than like from Red Dead.
I know, but man, like it's gone. The days where like graphical upgrades on like an annual basis are long gone.
Oh
Yeah,
no, we're
yeah.
not talking about like NES to Super NES.
No,
here, dude.
but I mean,
This
think
is,
about like
day.
sound. So sound like really kind of hit like where you got like true sound in like maybe the mid 2000s, you know, and then
Yeah.
it's never gotten better because it can't, you know. I mean, it's sound, it's actual music, you know.
Get better in like one dimension, and that is
Yeah.
if you have the full like 9.1 Atmos thing set up. And
Yeah,
you know, most people at this age,
I got two little speakers.
they got two little speakers, or like I've seen the people that have that shit, right? And it's like, that's cool. I have time to play for about 15 minutes, and then I have to go take care of my kid.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, graphics are kind of getting that way. Frame rates, like, I mean, they've gotten that down on a lot of games now, where, you know, it's not going to sit there and chug anymore, you know, like they used to. So a lot of the coding's been basically standardized. That's why everybody uses Unreal, you know, or
Yeah.
what's the other one? Unity? They use that one too. Not as often.
Not Unity.
Maybe?
Unity is the thing that you're making for like homemade Othello.
Okay, there's another one out there then.
Yeah.
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 So, but it's not one of the internal ones like the Bethesda crap engine, you know.
No,
So, yeah.
no, the Gamebryo and you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's interesting. You know, I'm like consoles. I don't. How much of a future do they have?
So you got Nintendo, and they're going to be fine for a while.
Well, because it's Nintendo. So
They're gonna like this is the PlayStation just released an updated version of the PS5. Nobody gives a fuck.
yeah, I haven't heard people even talk about
$800.
Oof, ouch! You got to be dedicated.
It's 700. It's 800 if you want a disc drive.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah.
Dude, well, and if you pull the numbers, there are still tons of people playing on PS4s. There's still tons of people playing on Xbones.
Yeah. Well, what? Like Xbox is the one that I like. Did they have a future at all, man? I mean, their
man.
market share is tiny compared to, you know, like
Take what PlayStation is, divide it in half.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly where they are.
So,
And yeah, they're in a rough spot because they've had like 3 different managers with 3 different visions come through and say like, I think this is the future. It's like, I think this is the future. All right. What about you? It's like, because at this point, I mean, this is the thing was, you don't have to own one because Game Pass works on multiple devices.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And you know, so that's the thing is like, well, I'm not going to buy this because I have this computer
PC.
over here.
Yeah.
It's going to kick the crap out of anything that I'm running here.
Yeah. And it does other things.
But the other thing here is like, all right, but if the kids want to play Fall Guys, all right, in the same room, there you go. But you don't need a piece of hardware like that to do it. You need a little Switch, which is where Nintendo comes in and they're like, we never like make good tech. It's like, no, you don't. You make gimmicky shit that works in a living room, and you have a couple of characters. You have a stable of hoes that you have been pimping out since 1985, right?
Specifically, yes.
You have been putting them on the stroll, right? And I get it. That's what you've been protecting. Your games never go on sale. Never, ever go on sale. You sue everybody. I'm like, I fucking hate you as a business. I really do. I've hated them as a business for a very long time. They're shitty. They've been like stifling competition. That the fact that they tried to buttfuck Sony is one of the funniest things in the world because they're like they dug that equipment out of the trash and said like, we're gonna release your engine, and they put out the PlayStation that they built for Nintendo.
Right.
After Nintendo jacked them and then went to go make the fucking CDI with Philips, right? Which is another like dead piece of hardware.
Way
$800 when it came out here, made like Hotel Mario.
Way
Nobody
dead.
gave a fuck.
Yeah.
And yeah, just tried to screw those guys over. I'm like, you get what you get. But yeah, they have that market corner.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I was just curious.
So,
Because it hasn't crossed my mind to replace my Xbox. So,
nothing to replace it with.
in like the last, ever since I got my
I have the
PC.
newest one, but
Yeah? How much
It's-
was it?
400.
Okay, see, that's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
It was my health and wellness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
See?
so
I
right.
don't get that. I just get regular money.
I mean, if I could like charge it's like my health plan and say like, oh, it's 70%, I'm like, sure.
Well, my health and wellness that went to getting a 3D printer for Christmas from Santa.
That's cool.
So-
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what the kids wanted. I was like, yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, dude, you got people like the worst thing right now is like people don't know exactly what the tech is going to be next, right? Because people have been pushing it like for the past like 15 years. They're like, guys, it's all VR.
Right, yeah. And then not realizing that it makes about a third of the population vomit on contact.
There's that, and there's you know what? And it is cool. You messed around with it. It is cool, but there's a limit to it, and there's
I'm curious. They said the new one you can watch like basketball and football games like you're on the sideline.
that's the thing they say, and that you can
I
do
don't
that
know
with
how
a crowd.
good it is or how well it works. I'm curious, but
But you're in a bad place when Apple fanboys, they've already sunsetted that $3,500, fucking VR headset,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, oh, we knew it was going to be a little. No, you didn't.
No.
No, you didn't. You
You can save a
counted.
lot of money on it.
Yeah, you counted on your faithful people buying all this shit up, and now you have a fucking like warehouse where you're using them to hold open doors and shit. And you're saying, like, we knew it was going to be a limited. But even if sunset, it's like, dude, you guessed wrong. It's like when you made the Apple Pippin, okay? They made a games console.
Yeah, they made a game
Oh.
ages ago.
Yeah. The same thing, like the Amiga CD32. It's like when Commodore was trying to get into the the console business. Like, guys, just admit you made a mistake, and that we're not ready for this yet, or we may never be.
I think that ship sailed. So
We may never, because
Yeah.
the bottom line is in order to make it work, it has to be double the computational power of whatever it is that you're using right now, right? Otherwise, you're going to play it on the screen. It is what it is. That's just how the tech works, right? Because you're running two individual screens. That's what you're doing, right? In a smaller unit. So I don't know. It's a fun gimmicky thing. It's cool to like scare people or make people like oh, you walk on the plank, It's like that's great. It's like that's $3,500. I wouldn't have spent that. But it is.
that's a lot
iPod
of normie
White
games.
and has rounded
exactly.
corners.
Yeah, rounded corners, medical grade plastic.
Right?
So,
That's true. Yeah, and it smells like Bactine or whatever it is that hospitals smell like.
right, yeah, exactly. So medical grade cardboard.
All right,
All right. Cool. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
I'm hitting the button.
Yeah.